What's up, my Deegan dudes? As I've came in here and made videos about Deegan crashing and having bad races, on the flip side, I also have to come in here and make videos on when Haiden Deegan does something good, like the podium, bro. He got it, okay? Podium at Daytona. This was actually very similar to his first pro Supercross race. He was just like one position better. But as far as how the race went, it was basically very similar to that, other than the fact I think he got a bad start at Daytona, worked his way up pretty quick. That was a weird little moment there with Jeremy Martin. I don't even know what the hell Martin was doing, but Deegan was hauling ass around the outside, and then Martin just basically shit his pants. I don't know. He literally just like fell down in the sand. Deegan just like passed him around the outside, and Martin just fell down. I don't know. Don't know what's going on there with Jeremy Martin for like the past forever in Supercross, you know? I don't know. But anyways, this is the whole thing about Haiden Deegan, okay? I want to explain this. I know there's going to be a lot of you guys out there, some of my more hardcore fans for sure, have probably been wondering, like, what do I have against Haiden Deegan? You know, why am I not jumping right on the train of thinking he's the next best thing, or he's going to be, really, really good? Like, my thing is, like, I just don't know yet. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily going to just stamp it and say, yes, Haiden Deegan is the future. Yes, he is the next best thing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let me explain to you why I haven't really done that, okay? It's a little something I like to call the Cianciarulo syndrome, okay? This is probably super relatable, even to some of you guys that are fans of Deegan and all that. You're going to be able to relate to what I'm saying here, okay? So, anytime I think about a rider that is, hyped up in the amateurs and they're coming into the pro class, regardless of who it is, the more hyped up guys, and specifically the really fast guys that are fast right out the gate, like Haiden Deegan has been from the very beginning. I've never questioned his speed. I mean, that's just been like a given, you know what I'm saying? But lots of hype, lots of speed. Anytime there's something like that, I just can't help but think about what Adam Cianciarulo did and guys like Austin Forkner. I mean, the names just go on and on and on. It's literally like I have PTSD from that shit, bro. Like I'm telling you. It's not that I'm doubting Haiden Deegan or I don't think he couldn't eventually do it. I don't know exactly how far he's going to go. If he's going to go all the way to like a Tomac level, I don't know. That's my big thing, though. It's just me saying I don't know yet, because it's like Adam Cianciarulo, he's one of my favorite riders of all time. I love AC, but by golly, he is the example, the literal example of how you can do everything right in amateurs. You can win, 420 Loretta Lynn's championships. You can do all this stuff, do everything you're supposed to do, get into the pro Supercross class, and win your very first Supercross 250 main event you ever raced, okay? I'm pretty sure Cincirullo went like 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 or something like that the first 5 or 6 rounds of his pro Supercross career, okay? He came in way hotter than Haiden Deegan, already a championship contender, like right off the bat, right out of the gate, quicker than you can say Bob's your uncle, okay? Like, Cianciarulo did all that. There's no way you can say Cianciarulo didn't live up to the hype at the beginning, because he did everything you could have done. He was instantly a full-blown championship contender, won his very first Supercross race ever, had all these chances, was able to stay on one team for probably longer than like anybody else has ever had the chance to stay on a team. All of these things, okay? And you've seen what's happened to Adam Cianciarulo. You've seen it. Cincirulo, however the hell you want to say it, Everybody's got a slightly different way of saying his name. But anyways, it's like Adam just proves that, you know, just because you do all that and it seems like you're following in the footsteps of a Ricky Carmichael or a James Stewart or whatever, and you're wicked fast and you're all these things and you're getting results in the 250 Supercross class, it does not necessarily guarantee that you're going to be the next 450 champion, or you're going to be the next Eli Tomac, or, you know, Chase Sexton, or, you know, whoever you want to talk about, Villapoto, you know what I'm saying? That sort of class of riders, like a Dungy, Villapoto, Carmichael, McGrath, you know, the real champions that, you know, really made some money off of this shit and really took it somewhere. I feel like Haiden Deegan has not done enough for you to just stamp that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing right there. And it's just like with motocross and supercross, everything can change at the blink of an eye, and it's just one of those things. Something can seem like it's going to happen a certain way, but boy, if I've ever learned anything with this sport, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that, okay? That's all I'm saying about Haiden Deegan. I'm not saying he can't go out there and be the next Tomac. It's possible. He's got a cool style on the bike. He's got that small kind of body frame. He's gotten lucky on a bunch of his bigger crashes that he's had so far to not really get injured, so he seems to be okay with that. Kind of like James Stewart, you know, he could flip all over the place and didn't get injured as much as like a Cianciarulo or something like that with a bigger, taller body. I think all that shit affects it, you know what I mean? But some of the fastest, best riders we've ever seen in motocross and supercross has had more of that smaller build. Like, you know, Ricky Carmichael has to stand on his championships before you can even see him, but he's got a lot of championships, so he's pretty tall, you know what I'm saying? But James Stewart's kind of that same way, you know? Just compact. I don't know. I feel like it allows Deegan to kind of move a certain way on the bike that you don't necessarily see everybody else doing. But still, at the end of the day, I have to be so careful with my... Because I got that way about Cianciarulo. I thought, oh, dude, he's going to be the next, you know, 450 Supercross champ, and you just want to see him do good. Some dudes just hit that roadblock as soon as they get to the 450 class, and they never get over it. And it just is what it is, you know. Adam Cianciarulo, Austin Fortner's careers are looking pretty grim right now. And at one point, I think they were more hyped than Haiden Deegan. I mean, I feel like at the end of this Supercross season, we'll have a lot better of an idea on really where Haiden Deegan is going to sit right now, you know, as far as what we think he's going to be able to do and what we don't really think he's going to be able to do. I think a lot of it does kind of depend on what's going on around him, you know. He can hold the bike together, but I think some things kind of do have to fall into his place a little bit to really get up on the podium. But who knows? It's like, I know in the East-West shootout showdowns, whatever the hell you want to call them, it's going to be a lot harder for Deegan to get up there, and I think there's actually a couple of those towards the end of the season, so... You know, you start adding more competition in there, it's going to be a lot tougher for Deegan. You get to outdoors, it's going to be a lot tougher for Deegan. It's going to be twice as hard. You know, that's the thing about the East Coast Supercross and West Coast Supercross. It's like you're cutting the competition in half. So like a third place in an East Coast Supercross race is kind of the same equivalent as a sixth place in a shootout or an outdoor, you know, pro motocross race. It's kind of the same difference, you know what I mean? And like a fifth place in East Coast Supercross is going to be the equivalent of like a 10th place in a shootout or in outdoors, you know? So I don't know how much more like Deegan on the podium we're really going to see. I'm going to pump my brakes just a little bit on that. Like I say, it's just... I'm trying my damnedest to Like, let it happen before I start to really think it's going to happen with Haiden Deegan, just because I just think about all those guys. I can't help but think about them. That just, it was like set in stone that Adam Cianciarulo was going to come through. Everybody was thinking it. He's the next best thing. He's going to be a Supercross champ. Look at him. He's riding like James Stewart. He did everything you could possibly do. And then you've seen how his career has went. He's out again with an injury. Again, and again. Okay? Fortner is the same way. It's just again and again, some random bullshit that nobody really expected to happen, but somehow it just keeps happening and keeps happening. It's like those two boys are the example of what can happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen to Haiden Deegan, but I feel like there's so many people that it's like they just don't want to believe that it can happen, so then they take it completely off of the table of possibilities. You know, it's like, okay, we're just not going to believe that could even happen with Deegan, so then let's just think he's for sure going to be the next best, greatest thing, the future of the sport and all these things. But the reality of it really is, again, Smitzy Boy tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I tell you the truth, okay? Either one of those situations is possible. You know, Deegan could end up, when he gets really up there to battling for wins, or he gets in those shootouts, there's no telling what's going to happen. You know, he gets in there in outdoors and has a couple of subpar results, like 8th, 9th, 10th places, and he starts pushing over his head. You never know what can happen. But it's like we're just getting started here with Haiden Deegan, though. We're just getting started, bro. He's done good. He's had some good races. He's had some bad races, okay? But he's had some crashes. He's had some consistency. It's just kind of, it's like a little bit of both with Deegan. I don't think he came out just demortally swinging like a Adam Cianciarulo or something like that, where they're just instantly like a championship contender. I don't necessarily think Deegan's going to be a championship contender at any point this year. You know, like really, I don't think that. But next year, that's certainly possible. It's all going to depend on his competition level in Supercross next year and who goes on what coast and shit like that. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I just think I'm going to be a little more on the, let me not just jump on the trains and the hype trains and I think he's going to do this, and that. I'm just not going to jump on that yet for my own sanity and my own sake of, like, I've been through this before, you know, with the Cincirullo and a Fortner and a whoever the hell else that was really, you know, coming up through the amateur class and they've just disappeared. I don't think we've necessarily seen Deegan have his biggest crash yet, you know what I'm saying? Seems it's just like inevitable that they eventually run into that sort of hurdle and that sort of roadblock at a certain point, and then it's, can that rider deal with it? Will they be the same rider after it? Will it change their speed level? You know, all these other elements goes into it. But we'll see what the kid can do, man. He looks good. He looks fast, you know, but I hate to say it, but it's so true. So did a lot of other guys, you know, and it's just all in how you look at it. It's like, if you think just Haiden Deegan making it to the pro class means that he's quote unquote made it, then he's done what he's had to do. You know, if you think just Deegan winning a 250 Supercross championship means that he made it and he did it, you know, then that's possible. It really is. When you start getting into that, well, Deegan's going to have to, like, become as big of a name as his dad was and get championships in the 450 class, you know, become like a legend of the sport. Whew, that's going to be tough, man. I think that's where there's a lot of people wanting to see him do that or thinking he can do that. I'm not going to take it completely off the possibility table, but it's tough for anybody to do that. I don't care how you come into it. I don't care what you did in amateurs. It's tough for anybody, regardless. And it's very hard to see whether or not they're going to really be able to do that early on. Like, I don't want to get hyped like that and then it be another disappointing situation. I've seen it happen too many times in this sport. It's a 50-50 shot. And I think Pulp MX was talking about this. No matter what kind of amateur comes through or what they do or how good they are or what the hell ever, it really still is like a 50-50 flip of the coin whether or not that they're going to be the next best thing or the real future of the sport. I think that's about the odds of it, like 50-50 for Haiden Deegan. It can go either direction. I am directly in the middle right now with Haiden Deegan. He could either do really, really good, turn into the next legend, or he could turn into the next Cianciarulo or Forkner or the 420 other dudes that just didn't really live up to it. Either way is possible. It really is. So obviously I hope Deegan goes in the direction of doing well. That would just be better for the sport and everything around it, But we'll see, man. We'll see what he can do. Be fun to watch. Either way, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you boys in that next one. Later, dudes.